Welcome to the Works of Wonder podcast. This podcast was inspired by the powerful message of Beyond Words, the Art of Effectively Communicating with Your Children, written by Dr. Beth Long. Beth is a licensed professional counselor, a board-certified behavior analyst, and the founder of Works of Wonder Therapy here in Montgomery, Alabama. Each week, we'll talk through real stories, practical tools, and faith-rooted insights that help parents lead with grace rather than fear. We hope you enjoy it. Today we're going to talk about embarrassment and shame in parenting and trying to switch for parenting for formation, not performance.
Yes.
Right? I think that that's a great topic. You write about an 8-year-old in your book who whispered, "My parents care too much about how I make them look." And that is one of the most convicting sentences I've ever read. Mm-hmm. Why do you think this statement captures something so important and painful about modern parenting?
Because I think, part of it probably is, right, all the social media and all that, right? Some of it is that. But I think this issue has probably been around since the beginning of time, right? That the incorrect belief that our children are a reflection of who we are, right? There's some truth to that, but also they are themselves.
Yes.
They're their own little personality and their own little, so in that particular situation, that little boy wasn't kind of the typical boy. Like he was a little more into music and art, and his parents kind of wanted more of like an athlete, right? Mm-hmm. And that's just who God made him to be. Mm-hmm. And instead of appreciating that, they wanted a more traditional parenting experience. And that is just selfishness from parents.
Right. Well, it's just important to check your own desires apart from foundational desires for your child.
Yes.
The small nitty-gritty details, those are God making them their own person, right? Not making them mini yous, because he didn't make us robots.
No,
he didn't make us.
Not at all.
Oh, yeah. So how do you define the difference between being embarrassed for your child and being embarrassed by your child?
Okay, so I this is what I'm asking parents to do is almost impossible, and let me just confess, I know that's true, right? But when we are embarrassed by our child, we are going to make a bad choice. Right? Mm-hmm. Like if your child is, running around a birthday party and they grab the cake and they knock it over or something. Right. And you're going to be a little bit embarrassed, but that action doesn't really have you didn't do that.
Right.
Right. Now, if you do nothing, right? If you let your child to continue destroying the birthday party, that's on you. Right.
Mm-hmm, right.
But, if I'm embarrassed, then I'm going to react instead of be intentional. And so you have to just go, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed for my son that he did that." Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to stop the behavior. We're going to do the right thing. We're going to practice how to behave at a birthday party. But if it's, "Oh my gosh, my son is so embarrassing. I'm so embarrassed by what he does," then it is all about you,
right? And
you wanting to control your son's behavior from a selfish standpoint instead of a biblical or what's the best thing standpoint.
Right. Why is embarrassment such a powerful driver of parenting decisions, especially in public, right?
Yes, I think there's a couple things we have to understand. I've been doing this for a long time, so I can compare 20 years ago to now.
Oh, that's so good.
One thing I see over and over and over and over and over that parents say now is, "We don't do that at home." Okay. So for example, I'll say, if we have a kid who's having trouble at school, I always ask the parents, "How many demands do you place on the child at home?" And they're like, "Not that many." Right. Okay. I want you to start placing a lot of demands, because at school they're getting almost constant demands.
Right.
Or, we went to a restaurant and my child got up and ran around the restaurant. Well, so tell me what dinner time looks like at your house. Well, our child just walks around the table and grabs bites he wants.
Right.
Well, that's your fault, right? You did not intentionally teach how to behave at a restaurant ahead of time. So that's on you. So So understanding that concept of it is my responsibility to prepare my child for success changes everything.
Right. Well, I mean, if you think about, you speak often about practice time versus game time. And if you use that analogy, like you really think about it, like you show up to basketball practice and you never practice dribbling, right? You're just shooting. And then you go to game time and it's like, no, you have to walk down the court and dribble the ball. And they're like, I don't know how to do that. And then as a coach, you're like, wow, why don't you know how to dribble? And it's like, no, you can't get embarrassed in the moment because the practice time wasn't there.
Yes, exactly. And you can kind of go, ooh, I should have done this a little bit better.
Yes.
But like that feeling of embarrassment is going to happen.
Absolutely.
It's just going to happen. But like, what do you do with it is very different. So
right. It teaches you the skill deficit that you have personally.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
How does our desire to manage our image interfere with our child's opportunity to learn from mistakes?
Whew. Right. I feel like that image management, isn't that a field now that people go into in image management? Yes. So I think that is probably a product of the times, but I can remember my mother has always said, this is the worst mistake I made in parenting was, she really believed that our behavior validated her as a mother. Our behavior or our misbehavior validated her as a mother. So walk away from that burden because your child is going to make mistakes. You are going to make mistakes.
Right.
It's going to happen. But if you change that mentality to I'm going to prepare as much as we can for this situation, but we're going to make mistakes.
Yeah. Right.
And then we're going to make it right, however that looks, is very different from I have the perfect family and look at this image I'm maintaining. Yeah. Right.
Well, it's checking your heart in the moment. Like I grew up in the Northwest where yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, not a thing.
Right.
Just not a thing. And so as I parent my children to live in where we live now in the South, where that's a thing, I have to check my heart constantly. Is me enforcing yes, ma'am to make me look good, to make me look like a good parent, or is it teaching my child respect?
Right. Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like we just have to constantly do that internal work.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
What messages do children internalize when parents prioritize appearance over growth?
Your children know it.
They do.
Let that little 8-year-old's words ring in your mind forever and ever and ever, right? They know what you prioritize and what you care about. They're geniuses in that way. So if you are prioritizing looking good, your child can see right through that. I was blessed with the opportunity to go to Italy a few years ago. And I remember this like older Italian man, we were talking about clothes and different things. We were talking about a lot of things. But anyway, he said to me, if I look unpresentable, that is disrespectful to you.
Interesting.
I know. It was such a great statement. And I've thought about it 1,000 times since then because it's a pretty deep statement. It's profound. Because it's not like I'm dressing appropriately to look good. I'm dressing appropriately to be respectful because we don't live in a vacuum.
Right.
And what we do impacts others.
Absolutely.
Right. So if you are teaching your child, I want you to look good because it makes me look good. That's a very different lesson than I want you to do the right thing to be a blessing to other people. And that should be the lesson that we're trying to teach is I want to prepare you to do the right thing so that you are a blessing versus I just want you to make me look good.
Right. Well, and I think it's like such a generational thing again. We're chronically online. We're being looked at. We post the best, right? We see other people's best. We see their kids making A's and getting their donuts, right?
Yeah.
All the things. And it does, the kids aren't getting those comments, right? When people like and comment and love that, it's the parent.
Right.
It's the parent's Facebook profile that they're liking and loving.
Yes.
And I just think about those babies that are living in this world where we care so much about our image. And I know that that's been forever. That's been since biblical times. But man, as parents, we just have to be so aware of our heart posture in parenting.
Yes. Yes. And that's hard. That's hard because we have to dig beneath the surface of ourselves.
Right. Well, and it's that like scale of you're not a reflection of me, but you do also mirror what I'm teaching,
Right.
right? And where my values lie.
Yes.
It's that weird, it's the caveat.
Mm-hmm.
What messages do children internalize when parents prioritize appearances over growth?
I think children internalize how other people view me is the most important thing in the world.
Ugh,
right?
such a toxic
as opposed
message.
to doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that this is my mother's biggest parenting mistake. I am an unbelievable people pleaser. I still don't know how to set boundaries very well. I'm struggling with that still. And I love you, Mom. That I think that comes from that. I want to make my mom look good.
Right.
I want people to like me.
Right.
Right. So we want them to be validated for making wise choices, doing the right thing, not for people pleasing.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Very convicting.
Very convicting.
So I serve at church, right? And I'm the fun games leader. Like I'm the hype man. And I feel like that's inconsistent to sometimes how I am at home, right? At home, I'm very much like, this is how we act. These are our boundaries. These are the rules we're teaching. How does that inconsistency cause confusion and struggle for kids?
Whew. Okay, that one is a loaded question. I think that's something we all struggle with, right? If we're really honest with ourselves, we always give our best to other people, not our family. But all of our masks come off at home. We are who we are at home, right? So if we want to be intentional, who do I want to be?
Yeah.
I want to be, and you know, maybe part of who you want to be is this mother who teaches your kid to do the right thing, and that's what you're prioritizing, and that's okay.
Right.
But maybe it's, no, I want to have as much grace and compassion and kindness for my children as I do for other people.
Right.
So I'm not going to give all of that away before I come home.
Yeah.
So it's just like being intentional with who you really want to be and where you want to be that.
Right. In the book, going back to kind of embarrassment, in the book, you make a strong statement. When you are embarrassed by your children, you are taking on too much of their responsibility. Can you unpack what that means practically?
Yes. Your child is going to embarrass you. Period.
Right.
It's going to happen. So when you are embarrassed by them, not only are you going to react, but it's also that emotional burden of, I'm taking on, like they are individuals and they have to be responsible for what they did. So you have to teach them, you have to prepare them. If that's a problem, step back and look at it. But especially as your child becomes a teenager, say they're disrespectful to another adult. They have to live with that consequence, right? They have to walk through that. And when my emotions get too involved, I'm probably gonna like justify it or go and talk to the other adult, or I'm gonna do whatever to make my embarrassment better, my feelings of shame better,
Right.
instead of just going, he is becoming an adult and he made a bad choice. But it's hard. That is so easy to say. That is hard to do,
Especially around the grandparents.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that is the hardest area. I want my parents to think that I'm doing it well and all the things.
Yes.
But how does shielding children from that embarrassment, right? Because like when you do that, you're also shielding your child from feeling that natural consequence. How does shielding them from that embarrassment actually delay the maturity and resilience?
I feel like there's the lawnmower parents. And the helicopter parents were the ones who were like hovering and making sure things went right. The lawnmower parents are the ones who run before their children. They knock down every obstacle. Yep. And children are not learning everything they need to learn anymore, right? So in the same way, it is not our job to make the road easy.
Say it again.
Yeah, it is not. It is not our job to make the road easy. So it's our job to walk with our child, to support our child, to be there with our child. So when we care more about our image and how we look, we are not letting our child grow and make mistakes and learn from them. And that has to stop. And I feel like that's happening all the time now. Right. And it's like, it's hard. It's hard when your child does the wrong thing, but that wrong thing may be a situation that God uses to shape them.
Right.
And we do not need to get in the way of that.
Right.
Right. So we have to step back a little bit and go, okay, you're going to make a bad choice. We're going to help you learn from it. And let's just see how it happens.
Right. Well, it's the idol of comfort, right?
Yes.
And we see that in ourselves, and it doesn't feel as bad or as much like an idol when we're using it in our children, right? That feels selfless. That feels good. That feels serving. But in this world, you will have trouble.
Yes.
And they don't get to see it, but take heart if everything is comfy.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So you share examples of parents pushing children toward activities that reflect the parent's identity rather than the child's interest. How does this impact a child's sense of self?
We're playing the role of God.
Yeah.
So natural bends, right? There's a huge difference between exposing your child to different things.
Right.
There's a huge difference in limiting your child's activities because this is what's best for the family, right? All of that is fine. But in the book, I talk about a situation where a mom really wanted her son to play football, but instead he played soccer. And she supported him when he played football, but she didn't go to a soccer game at all.
Whoa.
I know, it's heartbreaking, right?
Oh.
So as your child begins to have their own interest, support them. It may look very different. If you as a parent have never, I mean, I feel like it's maybe at 3 or 4 months where you begin to realize, holy cow, my child has their own personality. It is not at all, right? That's a huge eye opener in parenting where you go, ooh, we're going to have different points of view, right?
Yes.
So, when we want our child to do something because it fits into our lifestyle, that's a big statement, but take it with wisdom. Don't play the role of God. Right. Shepherd that child in their own interest and their own desires and in the way they are going.
This again is just so much internal work. Right? Every topic we have is like parenting is a verb. You know, it is work. How can you encourage or give practical self work tips for parents to kind of work through? Is this about my child's growth or is this about my image and that internal conflict? How can they work to resolve that inside themselves?
I think that is a great thing to take to the Holy Spirit. You know, like my Bible study recently encouraged me to ask the question to the Holy Spirit, how am I grieving you? Ooh, that was kind of hard,
big.
Right? But like to literally sit before God and say, help me see, like reveal to me areas where I am more focused on how I look than doing what is best for my child. Right. And I think that probably needs to be a prayer posture you have to be in your child's entire life. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Because I think I still struggle with that in my adults.
For sure.
Right?
Absolutely. I feel like adult children are almost harder. Yeah. You know, because like they're living their full blown life, fully independent. Yes. You have no control.
None. And it doesn't look exactly like I imagined it would.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, just staying in that prayer posture of, is this more about me? Right. Or is this about my child? And if not, help me change my heart to make it more about my child.
Right. Well, and just be encouraged that you were never made to be their savior. You were never made to be the end all be all or perfect image.
Yes, exactly. No, that is not your role. You. Right. You're there to disciple. God has his own plan for their life. Yep. And let's watch it.
Let's watch it. Yeah. Yes. Well, thank you so much. This is such a good topic. We could go on and on and on. But unfortunately, we can't. Be sure that you pick up the Beyond Words, The Art of Effectively Communicating with Your Children. It's on Amazon. It's super affordable and it arrives quickly. Make sure you follow Dr. Long on all of her social media, her TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And Works of Wonder Therapy is also on all those platforms. We'll have all of that linked in the show notes below.
And always be kind and honest because it works wonders.
It does.